Imagine for a second what it feels like to pour everything into your dream, your startup, your vision, your mission, only to watch it flicker and die under the weight of one brutal fact. No matter how brilliant your product, no matter how strong your team, one wrong move in your go-to-market strategy can crush it all. Right now, that terror, it's real and it's alive for so many founders, investors, and leaders just like you. You're stuck in that endless loop, trying to decode some universal secret source, a formula that someone somewhere claimed will work anywhere, anytime, across every industry. But here's the raw truth. That formula? It doesn't exist. At least, not the one you're hunting for. Not the one baked in some corporate boardroom playbook or scribbled in a consultant's flashy pitch. You're feeling it. That deep frustration where every industry, every product, every audience screams for something unique. The pain of watching competitors adapt faster, pivot sharper, crack the code while you're left clawing at the walls of conventions that don't fit your reality. The world tells you there's a formula, a magic checkbox to tick, and you're supposed to plug and play. But from tech to health, finance to consumer goods, the problem is always more complex. It's a relentless grind to merge your unique mission, your customers' raw needs, and the chaotic marketplace into a plan that actually sticks. Everyone wants a simple answer, but complexity is the rule, not the exception. So what's the real deal? Where do you find a go-to-market approach that isn't a straitjacket, but a lifeline? Here's what the world overlooks. GTM isn't about cracking some universal code. It's about aligning your unique truth with the chaos of the market. It's about being so clear about who you are, who you serve, and where you dare to play that everything else, messaging, channels, tactics, flows naturally from that clarity. It's the difference between fumbling in the dark and walking with a torch that cuts through noise. Most founders treat GTM like flashing lights and dashboards. But it's not a checklist. It's a relentless expression of your mission, culture, and the exact nuances your industry breathes. Hear this loud and clear. Your go-to-market is a crucible. It will burn off your illusions about what's easy, what's predictable. It demands fierce honesty about your customers' true pain and how badly they need your solution. Too many founders hide behind generic buyer personas that say nothing real. That's a death trap. You have to dive deep, beyond surveys, beyond spreadsheets, and swirl around the raw human emotions that drive your customers. Fear, frustration, hope, desperation. If you don't own that emotional territory, your GTM is a paper tiger. It will crumble the moment market waters shift. Now imagine if instead of chasing every shiny growth hack, you merged your go-to-market strategy with the core of your identity, your founder's obsession, your team's unique strengths, your product's unapologetic edge. That is when GTM becomes unstealable. When competitors try to imitate, they hit a wall because it's not just about the product anymore. It's a living narrative only you can tell. This level of alignment doesn't come from following trends. It comes from ruthless focus and deep understanding of what irreversibly connects your product to your people. This is what truly moves markets. This is how sustainable growth is forged. And here's the secret that breaks the whole idea of industry universality. The best go-to-market formulas are modular. They are you adapting a core framework to your reality, not bending reality to fit a framework stolen from a textbook. Your GTM must be a vehicle for liberation, not confinement. It doesn't serve the industry. It transforms it by amplifying your distinct voice. That's why adherence to benchmarks is often a trap. What worked for a SaaS company or a healthcare startup last year won't necessarily unlock success for your fintech or consumer brand this year. The real formula is a living system, flexible, patient, experimental, designed to evolve with your product and market. It's brutal, messy, but deeply precise because it's built on your authenticity. Inside your go-to-market hides an almost sacred truth. The only real formula that works everywhere is being relentlessly human. No algorithm, no template, no buzzword will replace the power of genuine connection. Remember why you started? because you saw a problem no one else dared solve or saw differently. That spark, that obsession with delivering value and transformation, needs to radiate through every email, call, pitch, and product launch. The most successful GTM strategies don't just sell products, they create movements. Movements that your customers join because they see themselves reflected in your story, because you speak their language, because you feel like a partner in their fight. Industry boundaries fall away when you master this. But this practice of human-centered adaptive GTM demands something rare: patience and resilience. It's tempting to want fast wins, quick scaling, easy answers. The marketplace is noisy, impatient, demanding proof, and yet the most profound growth stories are slow burn fires. They're built by founders and leaders who refuse to bend, who question every standard, who reject mediocrity stamped by the system itself. You're not here for easy. You're here to transcend comfort zones, to unlearn tired patterns, and to forge paths that aren't marked on any map, to claim territory others won't tread. So, how do you break free from this spiral of copying and second-guessing? You start with brutal clarity on your why your offering exists, who it serves beyond demographics, what emotional fault lines it addresses, and what change it's driving. Then you obsess over the feedback loops, listening not just to data, but to people's lived experiences, their unspoken frustrations, their moments of breakthrough. You build your channels and messaging, not because it's trendy, but because it shines a light on this core mission. You iterate endlessly, like a craftsman refining a blade, until every part of your GTM feels inevitable and right. But let's be brutally honest, almost no one builds this. The system trains us to copy, to conform, to chase safe, vanilla advice. Founders endure poor launches. Investors hesitate. Leaders spin in circles because the system silences those rare sparks. Individuals who hold different truths. What if the real game changer is creating your own infrastructure around your GTM? A network of aligned, fiercely complementary partners and advocates who magnify your message. Your GTM is not just a plan, but a living ecosystem of shared energy, collective insights, and mutual fire. This is the anti-formula, the new frontier, where radical individuality doesn't isolate but connects. It's the key to operating beyond boundaries, beyond industries. This isn't a fantasy. It's the new reality for those who refuse to settle. The truth is that your go-to-market formula will never be a rigid blueprint, but a dynamic dance between your unique value and an ever-changing market. The metaphorical rigging won't be found in 5-step guides or best practices articles. It's a deeply personal, fiercely creative act, and that's liberating. It means you don't have to wait for permission from the system or the crowd. You can start where you are, with what you have, and with who you are. Because the edge, the space where transformation happens, is always messy, raw, and beautifully unpredictable. You've been told the world runs on rules, comfort, predictability. Lies. Real power belongs to the few who reject groupthink, who question everything, who refuse to trade authenticity for convenience. Founders who build their GTM with heart, with depth, with iron patience. Those are the founders who break cycles, who turn tipping points into quantum leaps. Investors who back these rare breeds reap the rewards, not just in returns, but in the chance to shift something fundamental, something systemic. Leaders who learn this can craft ecosystems that don't just survive markets, they reshape them. This is for those who know the status quo isn't enough, who are done borrowing other people's dreams, who want to ignite their own. The only formula you can trust is the one that challenges you the most, the one that forces you out of complacency and into relentless learning, the one that demands your essence, your risks, your courage. Industry after industry will change, markets will shift, technologies will evolve, but human desire for meaning, for true transformation, that never changes. Your GTM has to ride that wave. It has to be a revolt against mediocrity, a declaration that your product, your vision matters deeply to the people who need it. To build that is not simple, it's not quick, but it is unstoppable. So stop chasing one-size-fits-all formulas. Stop hoping someone else's success will become yours by imitation. Your go-to-market is your declaration of sovereignty. It's your battle cry and your invitation. Designed right, it will electrify your market, align your tribe, and build the future you see before you. The formula you want, the one that truly works everywhere, is the formula you build by knowing your people so well they can't ignore you, by adapting so fluidly you outpace every trend, and by staking so firmly on your truth that no market turbulence can shake you. This is the radical truth. This is the hunger that never sleeps. And this is where your go-to-market journey begins. Not with answers, but with the fierce willingness to create them yourself.